This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk a little bit more about the Bitcoin Lightning Network and why it's a complete game changer for retail. And in order to explain this, we're going to use a very well-known type of business, which is the grocery store. We're going to take a look at Kroger, which has been in the process of rolling up all these grocery store chains over the past 20, 30 years. They own well-known chains such as King Soopers. If you live in Colorado, you know about them. Fred Meyer, Dillon's, City Market, Ralph's, QFC, etc. Now, running a grocery store business is not the best business from a financial perspective. It's a very low margin business. We can see here the net margins for Kroger from 2012 to 2019, somewhere between 0.5% and 2.5%. This is a very low margin type of business, unlike something like software or something a little less commodity like. What is a 2% net margin? Well, in common language, if you have $100 in sales or revenues, that means that you end up with $2 in net income or net profits. So there are all these, you sell an item at the grocery store for $100, and then you have the cost of goods of the item. You have to pay all the clerks' salaries, you have to pay the rent for the store and the heating and the lighting, etc. And all you're really left with is $2 on average. Now, some health food grocery stores, for example, like Whole Foods before it was taken over by Amazon, had higher margins than this. But this is pretty much typical. And as such, grocery stores are one of the kinds of businesses that will benefit the most from moving to a Bitcoin standard. And the way we can demonstrate that is by remembering another one of their major expenses, which is credit card processing fees. People used to always use cash to pay for groceries at grocery stores when I was a kid, and now the majority of people use credit, debit, or similar types of cards. Mostly people use Visa or MasterCard credit cards. Now, in the US at least, I'm not sure about everywhere else, this can really vary across countries, but in the US, the average credit card processing fee is somewhere in the range of 1.5%, if you do really high volume, to 3%. So for the purposes of this example, I'm going to use a 2% average credit card processing fee. So if you sell $100 worth of groceries, the credit card company is going to capture 2% of that, or $2 worth of that. By contrast, something like the Lightning Network, which runs on top of the Bitcoin network, it uses Bitcoin, it uses Satoshis. There are 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin, and there's no other token involved. The Lightning Network is just a layer 2 solution built on top of Bitcoin. It's very fast, it's very private. Anyone can use it. You don't need permission to opt in. You don't have to go to Visa or MasterCard and beg them on bended knee to accept you as a merchant. Anyone can plug into the Lightning Network, and the fees are currently much less than a penny, $0.0004. Obviously, these will move up over time, but they're still extremely, extremely low. So let's look at what would happen if Kroger moved from accepting regular credit cards like Visa and MasterCard credit cards, and let's say it moved completely to the Lightning Network. Basically, its net margins, because the cost of the Lightning Network payment processing is basically zero, it would save that 2%, that anywhere from 1.5% to 3%, we're going to call it 2%. It would save that on credit card processing fees, which are paid for by the merchant. So its net margins would double. It would go from 2% up to 4%. This implies a doubling of net income or profits from about $2 billion per year to $4 billion per year. And when you double the net income of a stock, all else being equal, it should also double the stock price, assuming that increase in net income is sustainable. So this is what happens. This is how much the legacy payment processors like Visa and MasterCard take out of the system. They're really toll keepers, and they charge this fee, which really amounts to halving the profits of a grocery store. The profit would be $4 billion a year without credit card processing fees, and that is halved because of Visa and MasterCard down to $2 billion. And so any move by Kroger, you could see why the CEO might be interested in this, because it would immediately double the stock price, and that would, if he has a lot of options, that would double his position as well and double his potential capital gains there. So this is how incentives work. This is how capitalism works. And this is why I would expect the Lightning Network to eventually take huge market share from these legacy payment processors that really are charging extortionary fees. Now, a lot of people say this is kind of unrealistic. Will this ever happen? And whenever I hear this, I'm always reminded of the famous William Gibson quote about the future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. And this is certainly true for the Lightning Network as well. A lot of people have their head in the sand and they don't realize that Starbucks is using the Lightning Network. McDonald's is using the Lightning Network. Pizza Hut is using the Lightning Network. So far just in El Salvador, but you can buy any of these items using Bitcoin and the Lightning Network in El Salvador. This is huge for all the stores, all the company stores from Starbucks and McDonald's and Pizza Hut that operate in El Salvador. This also implies that their net income is going up drastically. Their profit margins, their net margins are not quite as low as a grocery store, but they're still not very exciting. And so rather than doubling their net income, this could lead to still huge increases in their net income in these areas where they're able to offer the Lightning Network, anywhere from increasing their net income anywhere from 10 to call it 50%. So the futures are already here. This is already happening. And this is one reason that Bitcoin is such a valuable asset. It offers the most secure settlement network, and it now has this amazing payment processing capability built on top of it. The Lightning Network is here. It's already working extremely well. People who tell you that it doesn't exist or that it's still in beta stage and is not being used are just ignoring reality. You often hear this from altcoin promoters, especially people who are invested or promoting coins like XRP or Cardano. This is also why Bitcoin wins all these different races, not just the race as store of value, because it's so decentralized, it's so secure, it's so scarce, but it also wins the race as a medium of exchange. And it does this just through pure capitalist greed. The management team at grocery stores, especially if you owned a private store, moving from a credit card processor to the Bitcoin Lightning Network can really increase your profits. If any of you are interested in paying for Trader University courses using the Lightning Network, feel free to DM me on Twitter or otherwise try to contact me, and we'll see if we can figure something out. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.